Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to the session today. Thank you very much for joining in. You can see on the screen, we have our trainer, Tahmina Shahryar, with us today. She's an expert in many different domains. Let me say, she's an IFRS expert. She's an expert in startup ecosystem and a very capable young member. I'm sure you had a taste of Tahmina's participation in your sessions on Saturday. And Tahmina is now going to do a fresh start on startup ecosystem, right? So some very, very important things that she's going to discuss, after which a lot depends upon how you participate in the session today. So if you will remain mum, if you will not participate, if you will not talk, of course, you will not be able to enjoy the session as much as you would want to. So before handing over to Tahmina, I would very strongly urge, I know all of you are full of life, very exuberant, very, very interested. And to some individuals, I've also mentioned that this group of future members is doing better than the other group, which is comprising of members only. So that's a huge compliment. So in fact, when we sit down and discuss the future of ACCA, this is something that we always bring about, that our future members are far better equipped, are far intelligent than our, I don't know what to say, existing law, because that would include Feroz and Tahmina and others as well. But all of you have really, really impressed us. So impress us today as well. I would want to see a lot of participation. There are about 40, 44 individuals sitting in the call today. I would want to see a lot of hand raises, a lot of comments, and you should make life difficult for them. To listen to all of you, control the session today. Okay, so that is the level of participation we would need. I am going to getting quiet in the session, so we'll be noticing, or we'll be learning, in fact, myself as well from Tahmina. So with that, I'll hand you over to Tahmina for a very interactive, interesting session. Tahmina, over to you.
Thank you, Harun. Hello, everyone, and it is nice to be here with you once again. I hope you are all doing very well. So, at the very beginning, I would like to share my expectation, as Harun shared already, that I would also like to make this session interactive. So, I will need your active participation. We expect that at the end of this session, each of you will be able to produce a business plan. Yes, we expect that when we are going to end these sessions, you will be sharing a business plan with us. This is not just a learning opportunity, but also a chance to shine in the ACCA community, to just stand out. Yes, this is your opportunity, we expect. So do not forget that you are also going to be getting some certificates at the end of these sessions, which also require to pass each module of training. So we expect that at the end of these sessions, you all are going to be capable of producing business plans. So today we will be discussing startup ecosystem. But before I move towards that, I would like to clarify that whether are you able to see the presentation? Can you see the presentation clearly? Just type yes or no. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, the people who are saying no, can you tell me why are you saying no? While there are others who can see the presentation, why are you saying can't see the presentation? Chat box. Okay, due to the chat box. Okay. So let me adjust the screen so that it doesn't go like that. I'm speaking and nobody's looking at the. Okay, so let's move the chat box here. Okay, what about now? Can you see the presentation now?
Tahmina, you'll have to roll up the questions box and bring PowerPoint to the front. It's, the GoToWebinar viewer window is overlapping your PowerPoint window. So you'll have to just click on PowerPoint to bring it to the front.
Okay.
and
So,
use the orange tick to get the go to webinar menu out of the way. That's it. That's it. You can
okay.
retract
So,
the
can
questions box as well.
right. So now everyone, can you see the PowerPoint presentation? Wonderful. And can you see the chat box as well? Okay. Now we can proceed. So, as I was saying, that before discussing the startup ecosystem, I would like to discuss that what is your scope as an entrepreneur? Well, with every passing day, we can see the emerging importance and benefits of entrepreneurship to students. Yes, as you are future members, affiliates, and students. So, what I am going to talk about here is that there are some very great benefits for starting up as an entrepreneur. So, let's see what can those be. So, first of all, the benefits can be including knowledge of business at early stage. Yes, at a very early stage, you are getting to know how to work on the business, how to come up with new ideas. So thinking for a better future, this way you are more equipped to think about a better future. Entrepreneurial education is relevant to all fields. Yes, you should know that at this point. Personal growth and development, it helps your personal growth as well. It helps you create job opportunities for others. Entrepreneurship prepares the students for the future. Yes, you are being prepared for the future this time. Helps them to identify problems easily, and they become self employed. So, this is another opportunity that you are providing to yourself. So, now what you do is you become more creative and innovative and contribute to the economy of the country. So, if anyone is having this question in mind that we are future members, then why are we being taught this course, this training? So that's the whole purpose. We want a strong economy, we want strong members, and that's why we are telling you that each person here has several other opportunities besides job. You don't need to be a full time student or a full time job holder. You can always have a side business. You can always work on a business along with your studies, along with your uh, job in the future. So, how to start an entrepreneurship business? So, find the right business for you. Entrepreneurship is a very broad term, and you can be an entrepreneur in just about any area you choose. However, you'll have to pick a field to work in and business to start. Find a business that won't be successful, though don't focus that your business is going to be successful. That's why you're choosing a business. Don't focus on that, but it is something that you are passionate about. At this stage where you are currently, focus on things you are passionate about, learn about those things, and focus how you can make a business out of that passion. So this will give you a wide horizon of opportunities. So what I would like to advise at the very beginning is learn about the industry and gain your knowledge. So one good way of doing this is to become an intern at a company of your choice in which you want to gain experience. It will qualify you to apply your academic learning to real world situations, build your knowledge, and develop skills. So, this is going to help you. Each loss, remember, gives experience. So, do not be afraid of failing. It will help you correct mistakes and try again. So, this is the way you are gaining knowledge and experience. That is going to be very valuable asset for you in the future. So let's start with discussing startup ecosystem. But before again moving to that, I would like a bit of interaction from you. So how many of you are thinking to become entrepreneurs? Just type a yes or no. How many of you want to be entrepreneur? Yes, yes. We have Ali Muhammad, he says no. Ali Muhammad, do type in why no. Yes, yes, yes. Muzaffar says I am good. That's great. Sarah says yes, yes. And that's a very good sign here, I see. Majority of you want to become entrepreneurs. So that's a very good thing. It means you are looking, you are exploring for the potential you have in you. So, what do we mean by a startup ecosystem? What is a startup ecosystem? Have you ever heard this word? What do you mean by that? Type in the question box. Use the question box freely, because that's how you are going to interact with me. And that's how I am going to know, yes, there are people there who are listening. So, what do you mean by startup ecosystem? Do you have any knowledge? Do you have any idea? Nope. No, never heard of. No, did not heard the term. It means a system which comprises of startups. Sumbal, great. No, no. Yes, I have. Sameen, what do you mean by startup ecosystem? Are we talking about incubation cell? Yes, it includes that as well. No, no. Okay, so that's why I'm here today, because I'm going to guide you from the very beginning, from the very scratch. So, what is a startup ecosystem? Startup ecosystem is formed by people, startups, in their various stages and various types of organization that are located in a location, interacting as a system to create new startup companies. So when we are discussing this, it does sound a bit complicated, but we can very easily we can summarize it and understand it more easily. So what we can say here is that what is a startup ecosystem? Basically, think of a startup ecosystem as a machinery. It will make your understanding more easier. Think of it as a machinery that produces valuable companies. Yes. So what is a startup ecosystem? Startup ecosystem is the machinery that is going to be producing valuable companies. Basically, how it works is that it takes inputs from the founders and ideas, and it processes them and churns it out in the form of valuable companies. So that's how the startup ecosystem works. Let me explain, let me elaborate it with an example here. Consider a typical story of an entrepreneur. For example, an entrepreneur forms a startup and formally joins the ecosystem. Now, the the entrepreneur forming the startup is the founder, and he or she is joining the ecosystem. So they recruit talent, build prototype, these are the inputs now, prove their concept, raise seed funding, perfect their product, reach product market fit, and then finally, after going rounds of funding and scaling, they finally exit as a successful company. So now the exit of a successful company, of a valuable company, is the output the ecosystem is giving to us. So we can say that all these things combine together to form a startup ecosystem. It's okay to understand this, that not all companies are going to exit the ecosystem successfully, because there are going to be failures. Startup failure is an integral part of an ecosystem. So, of course, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be some hurdles, but exit is possible, and successful exit is very much likely if you focus on your goals and objectives. So, we can say that startup ecosystem consists of, again summarizing it, startup ecosystem consists of inputs, and inputs can be in the form of ideas, founders, new entrepreneurs, and processes them with the help of key players in producing successful valuable companies. So that's how we structure the startup ecosystem. So what are the most important ingredients in the operation of a startup ecosystem? We can say there are the access to great ideas. Why? Well, great ideas turn into great businesses. So once you have a great idea, you can ensure that you are going to have a great business. So the input, most important ingredient, is the access to great ideas. So what do you guys think? Do you have access to great ideas? Do you think your startup ecosystem has that input? Yes, Samin, you got that very right. So, a startup environment includes founder and venture capital firms. So, what do you think? Do you have access to great ideas? Zara says yes. What about others? What do you think? Yes, yes, that's a positive thing. What about others? I would like to have a variety of names here. And don't forget, you are going to be getting a wonderful certificate at the end of the program. So you have to participate. Yes, yes, yes. Now we have a variety of names here. Sarah says yes, Samin says yes, Muzaffar Hussain says yes, Aksas says yes. Should ideas always be out of the box? No, definitely not necessary. I have an idea but need extensive training on that. Yes, you will be getting that, Shaharia. Yes, yes, yes. So it's a good sign that you all consider that your eco startup ecosystem is providing you with great ideas. The next thing that is necessary to make a ecosystem friendly for you is the access to talent. Great entrepreneurs, preferably serial entrepreneurs that have learned from prior mistakes. Once you become an entrepreneur, it is not necessary that you're going to be successful in your first attempt. So once you fail, you try another idea once again, and then you can fail again. And that's how you become a serial entrepreneur. So a serial entrepreneur is considered as a key ingredient in the startup ecosystem. And why is that so? Can anyone tell me why is that so that a serial entrepreneur who is making mistakes again and again and failing is still considered a key ingredient for any startup ecosystem? What do you think? Anyone? I mean, an entrepreneur who is failing is considered a key ingredient and is considered a strength of a startup ecosystem. Meaning, I'm trying to say that we need more failures to make a startup ecosystem more powerful and successful. So, why is that? Because failures tells you what not to do. Exactly, Aisha, you got that. Nadia, because they know what not to do for his experience, because they are learning. Exactly. So, the first point you should know, and I can see that you are aware of, that you do not have to be afraid of your failures. The more you fail, it means the more you are learning, the more experiences you are getting, and the more contribution you can make to make your ecosystem stronger and strengthen it. So the next thing we need is access to capital. The third ingredient that makes your startup ecosystem strong is access to capital. We all focus on that. The best ideas and the best talent are useless without the capital to fund their vision. We all believe that. And most of the entrepreneurs just back out of the entrepreneurship only based on the basis because they don't think they can get the sufficient funding. So what do you think? In the country which you reside, do you have access to the capital? I think that's the toughest to access because we are studying. Okay, not much. Aisha says yes. Repeat. I'm asking that we know that funding is a crucial part of any business idea to work out. So, do you think your startup ecosystem of your country is capable of providing you with the access to capital? Because in many times people think they do not have access to capital, and that's one of the reasons they do not try to become an entrepreneur. Yes, 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 no, yes, no. Self fundings for small startups, not much. We should know how to present our idea exactly. Own money or someone who trusts us. Okay. I can see people are very hopeful here. You know that money can be arranged. Incubation centers, bazaar, and LBS are some of the examples of great funding. Exactly. Good example, Samin. And yes. So, yes, there are ways to raise money. There are venture capital firms, there are angel investors, there are many other opportunities. And then not all business ideas require a huge funding. You should know that. There are many businesses that you can still start without having thousands or even lakhs of investments. You can start your business idea with even a small investment, and sometimes you can even start a business idea with zero investment. So we will be looking at those ideas as well. So the next key ingredient that forms a successful startup ecosystem, a strong startup ecosystem, is the access to customers. Yes. Now I am going to tell you how to get that funding. So what is access to customers? To me, this is the most important piece. Why? Customers drive revenues. We all know that. If you have access to customers, you have access to revenues. And then revenues impress the investors. Then investors fund growth. Now growth leads to big exits. So big exits leads to a robust ecosystem. So what is the main goal of all startup ecosystems? To produce valuable companies. The ecosystem is going to be supportive for you. We are also part of this ecosystem because we are here to support you to come up with your business idea and implement it, even if on a small scale. So we are also part of this ecosystem. Now, if you have access to customers, then you should not worry about other things, because if you have customers, it means you have revenues. And if you have revenues, then it means you can easily have an investor. And then the big exit is not that a difficult thing to do. So what do you think? Do you have access to customers? Let's see if there is anyone who says no. Is there anyone who believes they do not have access to customers? Can there be anyone? Nadia says yes. Yes, we all have access to customers. So anybody who thinks they don't have access to customers, just type in no. No means you do not have access to customers. Yes, we have. Internet allows vast access to customers. Exactly. Yes, we will share the slides definitely in the handout section. Yes, if our idea is great and attract customers. Yes, yes, yes. So there we go. That's your funding. Once you have the customers, there is nothing stopping you. So all you need to focus is on your business idea. If you have a good business idea that captures the needs of the customer, then there's your funding. And that's how a strong startup ecosystem is going to develop. And you're a part of it as well. So let's start with now, as we have seen that a good ecosystem is dependent on the business idea. So, how do we get from business idea to business model? First, we have to focus on business idea. So, how to come up with the business ideas? Do you think getting a business idea or thinking about or planning a business idea is a difficult task? Do you find it difficult or easy? Type in difficult or easy. What do you think? Is coming up with a business idea a difficult task or an easy task? Obviously, I'm talking about an attractive business idea that you think you can work on in a business plan. Muhammad Anyal says yes. Zarat considers it a bit difficult. Aksa considers it a bit difficult. Zara says yes. Hassan Riaz, difficult one. Nadeem says easy. So we can say some of you are saying difficult and some of you are saying easy. So what is that makes it difficult for you? Well, I would say lack of knowledge, lack of practice. If you are aware how to gather your ideas, how to go around gathering business ideas, it will be a very simple task. So we can say for some people, coming up with ideas is easy, while for others, it can be difficult and sometimes nearly impossible. So those are the people who avoid becoming an entrepreneur. I fully believe that anyone who puts in enough practice and who makes a conscious effort to notice the problems around them and identify the needs, they can easily come up with a business idea. So for your help, I'm going to come up with 5 easy steps that you can follow to come up with new business ideas. So what are those easy steps going to be? First of all, business ideas that solve problems. So the first thing you are going to focus on is focus your own problems. What are the problems you are facing? What are the issues? What are the frustrations that you are going through? Focus on them. Once you have focused on your own problems, then you will be able to identify the solution for it. And the solution is going to be your business idea. And we all have problems, definitely. We all have problems, and those problems can be turned into business ideas. So focus on that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to focus on your problem. You can also focus on the problems of the people around you. Focus on the problems what other people are having. And then that's your business idea there. So it's easy. A simple example can be noise cancelling headphones. I'm wearing one. It's I am in love with these headphones. Why? Because it resolves an issue for me, because it cancels out all the noise around me. So that's what was initially an idea, and now it has been turned into a product. So let's see what are the other easy steps that we can use to come up with new business ideas. As I was saying, your business idea does not have to be great, does not have to be big. You can start with basic small ideas and then work on them. So second thing is solve things that may become problem. Now this is your future approach. Now if you are working on the future, you are thinking what can be a problem in the future. Solving problems that you currently have is not the only option. What I am trying to focus here is that why not you should be thinking about solving problems that will exist in the future. In this very futuristic sense, no one stands out quite so well if we consider the example of Elon Musk. The ventures he undertakes, including Solar City and Tesla Motors, but they are focusing on the lack of fossil fuels. Well, this is a problem in the near future, and Elon is taking the steps to fix that before it happens. This gives him the time to innovate, and he is first in, and it gives him market share. Well, I must say good luck to others catching up, because he has grabbed the market. So what what we learned from his example is that he has tried to solve things that may become problems in the future. So that can be a great business idea as well. Focus on that area if you are failing to come up with a business idea. The third thing can be adapt to evolving needs. Yes, we know times are changing, and we know products change as well. But what doesn't change is your need. So, what you have to do is you have to evolve the product with time. The easiest products to market are also products that fulfill a real and contemporary need. An example can be that is everywhere now, that is cloud storage. You don't hear as much as these days about the CD or SD card market. Well, you can still get them, but still, we like to store everything online, and you must all be having experience of that. So we can consider another example, Nike launching the hands-free shoes in the middle of the pandemic. So it was also a product adapting to the evolving needs. So now these small ideas have the potential to don't only have the potential, they have already grabbed a lot of market share. So your ideas can be in the range of adapting to evolving needs. The fourth step that you can easily understand is make people's lives easier. And we all know that. We love those products, we love those services that make our lives easier. So, what can be the example? Grocery apps, food delivery apps, products like instant coffee, automatic washing machines, and the list goes on. We all know that these are one of the famous ideas. Now, the fifth easy step that you can follow for coming up with a business idea can be save people money. Focus on business ideas that can help people save money. Now, I must admit one thing, that although I love real life bookstores and believe in supporting them, but still I prefer to buy my books on Amazon because it saves me money. So that's a factor that you should consider as well. Come up with a business idea that is going to help people save money. So that's how you come up with lots and lots of ideas, and they can be successful with your effort and with your passion and with your hard work. So that's how you come up with business ideas. So I hope you have understood how to come up with business ideas. So we can have an assignment here, a task I would like to keep you linked with the our session. So the task is, you are going to identify a challenge right now and think about a preliminary idea. So it's a two-step assignment. What you are going to do is come up with a problem, come up with a challenge, and then state the solution for that challenge. That solution is your preliminary idea. I would like to quote an example to help you out with the assignment. For example, uh, we can discuss the example of instant coffee for Nescafe. Well, Nestle received a very special request from Brazil in order to combat the economic coffee surplus in the country. So that was the challenge they were facing. It was proposed that Nestle creates a coffee product that was quick to make and also reduce the amount of unnecessary waste from coffee beans harvest. So that was one way of dealing with it. So what was the challenge question that you are going to write for your own problem? Now, in my case, in case of Nescafe, how can we help preserve the surplus coffee beans in Brazil that resulted from the Wall Street crash? Now, this is the challenge question provided to Nescafe. And what was their initial preliminary idea? Well, the preliminary idea was to manufacture a cube shaped coffee tablet, one that simply needed hot water adding. So that's how they were going to resolve it. Although the cube shaped coffee tablets failed, they didn't work on them because it failed to produce that iconic flavor that they needed. So later on, they went on to develop the powdered form and added some carbohydrates in it to retain the iconic flavor. So that's how they started with the challenge question. The challenge question was how to preserve the surplus coffee beans, and the preliminary idea was to come up with the tablets of coffees that will only need hot water. So these are two statements. Now I want you to come up with two statements. State your problem and state your preliminary idea. You can do it, and you have 5 minutes for that. Focus on these 5 easy steps. Your idea can belong to any of these 5 steps. Focus, it will be much easier if you focus on any problem you are having and propose an idea for that. Okay, so we have an answer. Stress and depression, breakup issues in youth, lack of career guidance. Okay, these are the problems. Now, one solution, a counseling app. Good work, Sumbal. Great. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, Alina says having a balanced diet that caters for enough nutrition and good taste. So actually, the problem is not having a balanced diet and nutrition and good taste. Okay, idea is a company that can build your diet plans and can deliver you food according to that. Marvelous, very good. Samin says problem not able to manage time properly between different tasks, right? So from work, family, education, right? So what is the solution, Samin? You haven't stated your idea. Okay, I am really passionate about my idea, but stuck at the stage of practical implementation. So, Sumbal, why not share your idea first, and then we can help you with the practical implementation stage. Personal assistant app for individuals. Solution, Samin. Yes, good. Sarah says difficult to get visible your business in a lot of competition. Solution, visibility consultancy, including marketing and business solutions. Great ideas here. Kamrul Hassan says problem spending too much time in YouTube, Facebook. Yeah, a very big problem these days. So, what is the solution, Kamrul? What do you suggest? What is your idea to resolve this problem? Okay, Sarah says we tried to start this business, but again, lacking right direction. So, Sarah, maybe this can be an opportunity for you because we will be working on the business plans as well and helping you launch your business on a smaller scale. So, we will be working on the prototypes of your business. Hamza says issue plastic waste, but the idea is lacking. Hamza, what about the idea? Amara Sabur says problem no way to identify lost pets and increasing numbers if lost pets. Okay, solution bring GPS collars from abroad and sell ID tags to local pet owners. Okay, so Amara, you are considering retail business. Nadia says supply meds or having difficulty wearing clothes, right? So what is the solution? Most of the people are coming up with the problems, identifying their preliminary ideas for that. Mohammad Daniel says climate change, windmills alongside motorways so that they work along with air drag created by vehicle movement, green energy source, right? Problem. Um, Danushika says difficulty monitoring employees working from home. Yes, that's the problem. And what about your preliminary idea to resolve that? Nadia says solution adaptive clothing. Yes, now you have given the solution, Nadia. Irfan Ali, for antique lovers, not good display boxes or showcases. We can provide them good showcases or albums. Right, Irfan? That can be you can start that from a small scale and then later on work on it. I have mentioned a solution. Okay. Solution, yes. Employee tracking system, including hours slash tasks, etc. Okay. Asad says mobile usage tracking app for the problem of using mobile every time. Yes, and many mobiles have that function nowadays. They let you know if you have exceeded your time limit of the screen time. Plastic pollution idea using own bags. Do elaborate that. Using own bags. How is it going to be a business for you? Irfan Ali, I have already started. So Irfan, why not share your idea that you are working on? Problem spending so much time on social media app solution. Why not put business media apps like which have both social plus business things? Yes, great one, Hasnan. Zahra, problems water bottles getting cold in winter solution, a product that wraps around the bottle and uses electrical heating to keep water warm or at least room temperature. Compact device and easy to use. Again, great one. Okay, Murtaza says cloth bags. So Murtaza, you are planning to sell those cloth bags. Okay. So what we see here is that you have plenty of ideas now with you. So in following these 5 steps, you can come up with more ideas. Remember one thing, never fall in love with your one idea. Yes, you have to come up with several ideas and then work on the business plan. And then you are going to know if your business idea has the potential to become a startup. So, How do we test a business idea? So that's our next step right now. We are going to learn now, if we have a business idea, and now that we have a business idea, how to test that business idea. One of the ways to test your business idea is to make it a reality in the form of business model. So what do you do then? Getting from business idea to business model. Well, let's begin at the beginning. See, even if you have a great idea, success is far from assured. We have discussed this plentiful times now. You know that coming up with a business idea doesn't mean that your idea is going to be successful. So be sure that you put in your efforts, you test your ideas before launching it. So one of the things you are going to be doing is following a business canvas model. Now, what is a business canvas model? First of all, we would like to start with what is the purpose of a business model. So the business development model is to have a shared understanding of what a business model is. So what a business model is? Well, business model was developed by Osterwalder and Aves Pignair, authors of Business Model Generation. It's a good book and it's a good read. Do read it if you find time sometime. So let's repeat that. What is a business model? A business model is the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. Both of these authors believe that a business model can best be described through 9 basic building blocks. As you can see here, those 9 basic building blocks. We will be discussing these 9 building blocks to help you test your business idea. So it is not just going to show you how to implement your business idea, but it is also going to help you understand whether your business idea holds the power to be successful. So it's a great thing to do with all of your business ideas. Come up with several business ideas, come up with several business plans, and then choose one plan that has the potential to be successful. So how do we come up with business model canvas? So let's start with understanding these 9 blocks of business model canvas. Now, the first building block, I would say that we start with uh, customer segments. And why is that so? Well, business model experts recommend that we start with customer segments. And why is that so? Why do the business model experts say that we start with customer segments? So that's because customer segments actually lift your whole business model in a way that it makes your business model integrate with all the other blocks. Typically, your business customer segments can range between 5 and 7 segments. However, I would recommend for the purpose of with this program as a starter, you always start with a single customer segment and choose that best customer segment that you think satisfies the customer needs. So for that purpose, what you are going to do is you're going to focus your strengths on customer segments. The customer segments can be selected from any of the following. They can be based on mass market, or it can belong to a niche market, or it can belong to a segmented market. So let's discuss what do I mean by when I say that mass market, niche market. What do I mean by that? So let's discuss that. First of all, successful entrepreneurs and innovators make conscious decisions about what which customer segments to serve. So that's what you are going to be focusing on as well. So which segments to ignore, which segments to focus on. Remember, not all customers are good customers. You should know that at the very beginning. You shouldn't be focusing on all customer segments, on all customer types, because there are many customers who are not going to prove good customers. So customer segments, as you can see, have been divided into 3 categories. The first one is mass market. What do we mean by that? It focuses on a large group of customers without really distinguishing between different types of customers, because it aims to satisfy a set of broadly similar needs and problems. So you pick up whole market as and group it into similar needs, and then you choose it as a mass market. If we look at the example here, given for Nescafe, you will see that the customer segment selected is mass market. So what Nescafe had in mind was that they were going to focus on the first segment, customer segment, as mass market. So what you can select as your customer segment can be a mass market. What other options you have? Well, you can go for niche markets. Sometimes it's better to cater to the needs of a specific group with very specific needs. These needs may follow from the purchaser's budget, location interest, attitude towards the product, or similar other factors. You can select from any of those factors and focus on that. And now comes the third segment, which we call segmented markets. This falls somewhere between the mass and the niche market. This is where we distinguish between groups with slightly different needs. A segmented market can be defined as one in which you have multiple different groups of customers with different sets of needs and problems. Yes, they have different sets of needs and problems. In this case, you would provide the same product or service, but with slightly different value propositions, which we will be discussing in the next slide. So, you are going to consider this, that if you are going to focus on the segmented markets, you are going to have slightly different value propositions to meet the needs, but you are going to use one product to fulfill their needs. So, here we have three segments: mass market, niche market, segmented market. You can select any one of these as your customer segment. So once you start with your idea, you plot it in this business canvas model. The first step you're going to do is you are going to focus on your customer segment. In that customer segment, you are going to choose any one of the customer segments as provided here. And then once you have chosen the market segment, then you can bifurcate it, subcategorize it further down. But the first step is to choose from any one of these. I hope this is clear to you now. Do you have any questions related to customer segment? Zara, yes, I have already provided examples. For example, I said mass market uh, focuses on different needs, as I gave the example for Nescafe, right? So let's move on to the next building block. And the next building block is value proposition. So when we say value proposition, what do we mean by value proposition? Now, value proposition, as we can see, it's best to complete this building block after you have completed your customer segment, because the customer segment is going to be related to your value proposition. Well, we need to determine, after identifying our customer segment, that what value can we create to deliver, and what value is going to be most important to that customer segment that we have chosen. So once you have identified your customer segment, now you need to think, what is the problem? What is the need of that customer segment that you are aiming to resolve? So we can say value proposition typically falls into three categories. The first one is quantitative. For example, creating new value by improving speed or service or adding new features or improvements. These value propositions are sometimes called getting the job done or price competitiveness. An example can be Walmart, because Walmart is a good example of this, because the value proposition of Walmart is mainly based on providing low priced product to the customers. So we can say their value proposition is to get the job done, price competitiveness. The next category is called qualitative. What it focuses is creating products and services that improve customer experience via new design or maybe by improved emotional interfaces. So these are called performance or customization or status enhancement. Uh, these types of value propositions. So the last category can be called the game changer. Why it is called that? Because it is actually going to disrupt the industry. Any type of value, any type of need that is going to disrupt an industry, or create products or services that are going to disrupt an industry are called the game changers. So an example can be Uber. When Uber was launched, it actually disrupted the market. So these are the examples of value proposition. There can be three categories, as I mentioned. So how do you come up? Now let's see the practical perspective of this. How do you come up with a value proposition? So it's very easy. I have given you three pointers here to work with. Once you have decided that yes, this is the customer segment I am going to be focusing on, all you have to do is focus on these three questions. The promise of what you will deliver to your customers, work on that. The second thing you're going to be using is the benefits that your customers will reap from your idea, and why they should choose you over your competition. So these are the three questions that your value proposition should be answering, that your preliminary idea should be resolving. So the first thing what you did was you came up with a challenge question. Then what you did is you came up with a preliminary idea. And the third thing that you did is you are making a business plan. Now that you're making a business plan, you have to ensure that after identifying your customer segments, you come up with your value proposition. The value proposition is going to answer three questions for your customer segment. I'll give an example here of Shopify. Shopify customers value proposition essentially says that it can do everything you need it to for on a single platform. This speaks to some of the fundamental needs and concerns of someone who's starting a new business. But for me, if I say, just hearing this gives me anxiety, and I really feel overwhelmed by it. But Shopify suits that out. It further elaborates its value proposition. It says the company website here says that the platform supports customers from first sale to full scale and features everything you could need to start. So, this elaboration of the value proposition now soothes my anxiety. And it further adds on that all these four items have their own page in the website's main navigation point, so that the users can navigate through each of the four types, and now they can get what they are providing them and how it's resolving their issues. So what you are going to do is, now once you have come up with the idea, as many of you have been able to do that, just write down your value proposition. Your value proposition should contain these 3 points that I have focused on. You should point out the promise of what you will deliver to your customers. You should focus on the benefits that your customers will reap. And you should focus on why they should choose you over your competition. So, for your business ideas, give me these 3 steps of value proposition. You have 2 minutes for this. Just pointers. Alina has asked, does segmented market needs a slight change to product or service? Yes, you can give a slight change to product or service, or you can use the same product in a different way. So let's come up with a value proposition. Let's see who's going to give me the value proposition first. I'm waiting. You have 2 minutes for that. Okay, Sumbal has come up. Good effort. Ear to listen to. Okay, to promise of what you'll deliver to your customers is ear to listen to. Good. My counseling app is a solution to look at when one has nobody to talk about. Nice. Now that's the benefits that your customer will reap. Now the third point, why they should choose you over your competition. That also has to be included, Sumbal. Obviously, there are similar counseling apps. So why are you saying they should choose yours over the others? What is the differentiating factor here? Okay, we have several answers here now. Perfect segmentation is the reason why they should choose me. Okay, can be, but needs a bit more elaboration. Okay, Sayed Saz says proper temperature control outfit. Okay, that's the promise you are going to deliver to your customers. But the rest 2 points need to be answered as well. The benefits that your customers will reap, why they should choose you over your competition. You have to answer these 2 points as well. Okay, Zahra says promise to deliver a product that does the job, warms water, and is convenient to use. Okay, it is better than competitors because it is unique and also chargeable. Okay, so you are saying that your competitors are not providing chargeable products, but you are providing chargeable products. Yapka says no shear left upon cleaning glass surfaces. Yeah, that's the problem, and now you are coming up with a solution. Less product used, more result satisfaction, right? Their problem solved, less chemicals and patented microfiber clothes. Great one. Yes, that's a complete value proposition, I must say. Sarah, handling public relations and marketing for customers. Okay, right kind of visibility. That's your benefit. We customize our approach according to each business type and not one model for all. But it gets a little bit complex. You must notice here that it becomes a little bit complex for the customer to understand. So, what you need to do is make it easy to understand for the customers as well. So, simplify it a bit. Sameen says personal assistant app, but again, Sameen, you haven't followed the 3 points of value proposition I have provided. Hasnan says value proposition for paper waste idea to paper mill manufacturing industry. Okay, timely delivery, delivery in bulk, that is in pressed bundles, and experience of providing paper waste to multiple paper mills over a period of 10 years. Yes, now that's what you have over your competition. So you have customer loyalty with you, you have a trust factor, reliability, credibility factors. Okay, Muhammad Daniel says windmills alongside roads are much cheaper than traditional ones. It will be more cheaper than the conventional energy space because of how uh, because of low cost. It helps my country to achieve carbon free targets. Yes. So it does help, but there are other people who might be dealing with these. So how do you intend to deal with those competitions? Because obviously you're not going to be a market leader in this at the moment. Shahraya says business idea, medical assistant app customers. Okay, doctor's value proposition, list of medication consumed by the patients, have better idea of patient medication. Business ideas, medical assistant app. Okay, doctor's value proposition, list of medication consumed by the patients. Okay, right, understood. Yes, this can work as well. And it's good to see that you are all working on the three value propositions and you're coming up with great value propositions. So that's the right way to do it. Sumbal, is just a plan for now, or is there any app you are handling? So Hassan Riaz has a question for Sumbal, and Sumbal can answer that here. Okay. The next one is tasty food benefits, nutrition and taste uncompromised, customized diet plans, vet by professionals based on body needs and preferences. Good one. And again, you are missing just 1 point. Why should they choose you over your competition? So you have to embed that element as well. Okay, develop a software which will lock app proposition, will save their most precious time. Okay, can use their save time to do more productive things. It's one and the same thing. It will be free and more comfortable to use. It may be a totally new idea. Okay, you are proposing that you can be a market leader and you will not be facing any competition. Is that correct, Kamrul? You consider your idea to be a market leader because you think there are no such softwares in the market. But always consider the factor of competition. Whenever you are designing your value proposition, do consider the element of competition. Low transmission cost. Okay, Muhammad Daniel, low transmission cost is your, I guess, the third point answer, competition point. Promise. Comfortability, benefit, value for money. Why select less chemical, eco-friendly guarantee? Okay. Your value propositions are now going to tell you further develop your business plan and whether you are capable of delivering your promise or not. You will see that in some time. Samin says voice enabled personal assistant. Okay, good answers, really good answers, and I'm very happy to see these answers here. Okay, so yes, you have come up with some very great value propositions, and that's how you should be working on. So now that you have the idea of how to work with your value proposition, now we can move on to the next building block. So the next building block that we have with us after value proposition is the channels. You started with your customer segments, then you moved on to your value proposition, and once you have decided which value propositions are you going to be delivering to your customers, the next thing you do is decide on your channels. So when we speak about channels, what do we mean by channels? Let's discuss this. We'll need to determine how we will communicate and deliver the value proposition to the customer segment through channels. Channels are actually the touch points that play a critical role in customer satisfaction and customer retention. Obviously, if you are going to retain the customers, satisfy them, you will have you will need some reliable channels for that. So channels are typically broken down into types and phases. Channels are typically direct, or they can be indirect as well, and you should be seeing on awareness, evaluation, purchase, five phases, delivery, and after sales. These are all examples of what do we mean by channels. Is there any question related to channels? It's the most easiest block, I must say, because most of the times what we are clear about at the very beginning is actually the channels. Most of the people usually like to start their business plans through channels, but that's a wrong approach. Channels comes after the value proposition, because if you're not clear about your value proposition, how are you going to decide how to deliver the product or service to the customer? And if you're not clear about your customer segment, how are you going to decide on the channels then? So what you need to do is first confirm your customer segment, decide on value proposition, and then work onto the channels. So is everybody clear on the channel? Just type in a yes, or if there is any question related to that. Yes, okay, let's move on then. So now we can observe the example given here again. So we can see that the model here showed us that the customer segment chosen by Nescafe is mass market, and the value proposition was the instant coffee, and the channels they have chosen are retail stores. If you are unable to see the diagram, so that's why I'm speaking it out loud. The channels used by Nescafe are retail stores. Okay, I'll repeat it once again. In case of Nescafe, the customer segment chosen at the very beginning was mass market. The value proposition was instant coffee. That's what they were proposing their customer segments. And the channels used were retail stores. So these are one line examples for the three building blocks we have considered. So let's move on to the next building block. The next building block is customer relationships. So, what are customer relationships? Customer relationships are very closely tied to the channels. Yes, we just discussed the block of channels, and after you have finalized your channels, the next block is customer relationships because it's closely tied to the channels. Your channels determine what type of client relationships do you want. Now, every business needs to decide what kind of relationship will be required in order to make the business model work. Obviously, if you want access to customers, you obviously need good relationships. So, for you to make your business model work, what you need is you require customer relationships. So, at the very beginning, you will decide for yourself that what type of customer relationships will I be aiming for. So, customer relationships can range from highly personal to highly automated. It's your choice completely. The categories of customer relationships can be, but not limited to these: personal assistance, dedicated personal assistance, self service, automated services, communities, or co creation. These are the different categories of customer relationships that you can focus. We can summarize these categories one by one. Let's focus on the personal assistance. As the name implies, personal assistance also helps in resolving the issues a customer may face post sales. These relationships are maintained oftentimes through customer care executive interacting with customers, call centers, emails, retail stores. So, all of these come in the category of personal assistance. So, this is a step ahead to personal relationships now. The second category can be dedicated personal assistance. So, what do we mean by that? Well, in dedicated personal assistance, this is when you offer individualized personal assistance. That is, you dedicate a specific representative. Yes, you have to incur costs for that. So, keep in mind that you are dedicating a specific representative to a particular customer. So, it is a deeper relationship, usually for a long period of time. A good example can be when managers have more personalized relationship with higher value customers. In banks, for example, they use this type of dedicated personal assistance. Another good category can be the co-creation. Now, what do we mean by co-creation? Well, co-creation refers to inviting stakeholders, usually customers or employees, to participate in a design or problem solving process to produce a mutually valued outcome. Yes, you work in collaboration. It's a collective effort. An example can be IKEA. We are familiar with IKEA. The IKEA co-creation platform focuses on four specific areas. Well, they ask customers for product idea suggestions. Yes, they what they do is uh, they carry out some sort of interaction with the customers. They invite customers and then they ask them that are there any idea suggestions that you can provide us so that they can work on it and provide and come up with some new products and services. Running IKEA boot camps to work with entrepreneurs. Yes, they have special boot camps for entrepreneurs. Then they collaborate with the university students on product solutions. They also connect with throughout the world using innovation labs. So this is how IKEA is using co-creation as for building customer relationships. Yes, exactly. Uh, these days, co-creation is a very famous customer relationship, and most of the business models are embedding it into it. So yes, Zara, you are right. So customer relationships block we have considered. Let's consider the example of Nescafe. Okay, one more thing. Why am I considering the example of Nescafe? Because the instant coffee idea of Nescafe was considered as a disruptor. So that's why I have used the example of Nescafe instant coffee here. So in case of Nescafe, uh, the so if we move on to the Nescafe example here, you can see that they have used retail arm's length. That's the sort of customer relationship they are using. What is a retail's arm length? Well, it's a label sometimes given to normal commercial relationships between buyer and suppliers. They are independent and they're working independently. This actually implies that there is limited goal congruence, and there are few mechanisms to promote joint working or collaboration. It lacks collaboration actually. That's why it's called retail arm's length. So they were using that. So that was our fourth building block, customer relationships. Now let's move on to the fifth building block, that's revenue streams. So definitely revenue stream is a very important building block because it's focusing on revenues, which is an important element for us. So let's move on to the revenue streams. Okay, so what do we mean by revenue stream? Well, this is what it means to capture the value. So when we are capturing the value, we are actually creating and delivering our value proposition. How do it's related to how do we make reasonable amount of money for our efforts? Obviously, that was the goal behind our value proposition, because we launched this idea because we intend to make money out of it. So at the basic level, the revenue streams building block attempts to answer the question, for what value or price will the customer segment be willing to pay? We have chosen a customer segment, a specific customer segment, and now we are working on to answer that what are we going to how are we going to deliver our value proposition to generate a specific price. So those common techniques to determine your pricing strategy, such as you can go for fixed pricing, you can go for discount pricing. That's where you typically start. So perhaps you can offer discounts as well. So pricing can be volume dependent pricing, or it can be market dependent pricing. Now, revenue streams can focus on products, consumer services, and business services. When we say products, what do we mean by that? Well, sales of physical or digital products, for example, such as a bicycle or an ebook. So that's your revenue stream from products. Now you can choose your revenue stream from customer services, consumer services. Consumer services include such as a meal at a restaurant. So that's a type of consumer service. Now business services such as an internet connection. So these are examples of some revenue streams that you can choose. So what do you suggest? What do you propose your revenue stream? You have worked onto your value proposition. So what do you feel that should be your revenue stream? Select one: products, consumer services, business services, and also mention whether it is going to be volume dependent or market dependent. Okay, so I'm waiting for the answers. Zara says product. Yapka says products and market dependent pricing. Okay, product and market dependent. Mohammed Sajid says products and volume based. Market dependent. Sheikh Mohammed says product. And again, you are not mentioning the pricing, volume dependent or market dependent. What are you going to be charging? Physical products and products are market dependent, right? Product. Sumbal is going for consumer services. Yes. Now, see, your revenue streams are actually showing you how they are uh, competitive with your value proposition. Sale physical product and volume dependent, right? Business volume dependent. Subscriptions. Yes, Muhammad Danial, you can also go for that. So now you have that idea, it means. So now we can move on to the next block. Let's see which one is our next block. Now that we have discussed revenue streams, we have block number 6, that's going to be key resources. Okay, so discussing the key resources. This building block focuses on the assets we will need to deliver the value proposition. Okay, so key resources are your assets that you require, the resources that you need to deliver your value proposition. Remember one thing: your key resources should be categorized into four categories, that are physical, human, intellectual, and financial resources. Always consider your key resources by using these four categories. Obviously you are going to use all of these four categories for your key resources, because your key resources are going to be falling in all of these categories. So focus, what are the key resources? For example, in case of your physical key resources, it can be your physical assets like machinery, warehouses, vehicles, or point of sale systems, etc. So if we are talking about human, those are going to include the intellectual resources. Those are, so do consider your key resources and consider them by considering all these four categories. That's very important. So next building block, the next building block is key partnerships. So what do we mean by key partnerships? Okay, now let's see, what do you think about key partnerships? Because most of the times we confuse this area. So what do you think by key partnerships? Strategic partnerships, yes, correct. Collaborations, yes. So you have that idea, and that's a good thing. So what are the key partnerships? This building block is very important. Partnerships in many ways have become the cornerstone of most business models. So if you want to make your business model successful, you will be looking at the key partnerships. Partnerships typically include, as you guys have mentioned, strategic alliances, and these alliances can be with competitors, or they can be non-competitive joint ventures as well. So mostly the co-creation of value with your customers. What type of key partnerships you can choose for your business model? Well, they can be strategic alliances. They happen between companies that are not competitors in an agreement that benefits both sides. So you enter an agreement, and that agreement is going to benefit the both sides, and that's called a strategic alliance. Co-opetition happens between competing companies. It helps to divide the risk that both are taking by trying to do something new in the market. So this can guarantee some supply that both of them need, to name a few. So the next thing can be, you can choose key partnership as a joint venture. The focus here is to develop a new business due to the birth of a new market or access to a new area. So another form of key partnership can be your buyer supplier relationships. Most of the times we are focusing on that. It is the most common type of partnership, and usually it aims to ensure reliable supplies. If you have an agreement with your supplier, so it will ensure that you have a consistent supply. One side gets a quality supplier, and the other confirmed and a recurring buyer. So both sides are benefiting from this arrangement. So this is the building block of key partnership. Activities. The key activities, these are the most important actions that company takes to operate successfully. Activities typically include operations, production, sales, marketing, and finance administration. Again, when you are deciding on the key activity, focus on all of your above building blocks, and then come up that, in order to fulfill your value proposition, what type of activities you will need. The basic categories, as I have mentioned, will be falling into operations, production, sales, and marketing and finance. So you can easily choose from them what can be your key activities. Now, the next building block and the last one is cost structure. Well, we have all been very much concerned about the cost structure building block, and in fact, before starting a business plan, we most of the times don't opt for the business plan because we are too much involved in the cost structure. We think that we are going to be incurring lots of cost, and that's why the business model might fail, so we don't get along with the business plan. But here you are noticing that the cost structure falls at the end. And why is that so? Why have we considered the cost structure at the end? Because we think you cannot come up with a uh, with a uh, with a perfect fit of a cost structure for your business model until you have considered all the other building blocks. That's what the researchers have considered. They say that you should be working with all your other business components of business models, and then at the end decide onto the cost structure, because that's the right way to do it. And that's how you are going to get a picture of your cost. You might be thinking that your business idea is not going to incur many costs, but actually realize is that your business failed because it was very costly. So that's why you are going to implement your cost structure at the very beginning in your business plan. And this is your last block. So what are the cost structures? Let's discuss them. As you can see that the cost structure categories are typically cost driven and value driven. And it is often the case we actually most often we focus on two types of cost structures, either it's cost driven or it's value driven. What do we mean by that? Well, cost driven focus on minimizing costs wherever possible. So this approach mainly aims at creating and maintaining the leanest possible cost structure using the using the low price value propositions. So what can be a good example? As we have mentioned earlier, Walmart, because its value proposition is actually to reduce prices. So the next example of cost structure can be value driven business models, which are used by many companies, but their value proposition is basically not concerned with cost implications. It is more focused towards value creation. So notice one thing here, that your value proposition is integrating with your cost structure. If your value proposition was to deliver value, to create something large for your customers, then you should be choosing your cost structure as value driven. And obviously the pricing structure can be high. So definitely cost structure also collaborates with your revenue stream. So that's why we have kept it in the end. And if you are choosing cost driven, then your value proposition should be to provide cost effective or low price items, and definitely then your revenue stream should focus. So now you can see these all blocks are interrelated and they help you test your idea. Any questions up till now? Then we can move on to discuss the mistakes. iPhone value creation, yes. Okay, no questions, I think so. Mistakes. Well, when you are going to be preparing your business plans, make sure you do research. When you are going to be preparing your business plans, you do not make these mistakes. We will be hoping that your business plans are free from these mistakes, because these mistakes have been highlighted and you have been notified that, first of all, there are several categories of cost structure. There are two that start with one customer segment and then further subcategories one customer segment. It makes the business plan more clear and more easy for you to handle. If you have several customer segments, you will not be able to reach a good value proposition. So common mistake is you come up with several customer segments and then fail to deliver the value to those customers. Your business idea fails. So next thing is value proposition is not innovative or disruptive. It makes the business plan more clear and more easy for you to handle. And now we have said that consider your business idea from 5 easy steps. Your business idea or be evolving the need or it should be money for the value proposition conforms with it. Channels lack the five phases channels, so make sure when you are selecting your channel you are considering those five phases. No clear distinction between revenue streams. Yes, that's why I have provided you with clear distinction of revenue streams. Please consider them before deciding on your own revenue stream. Resources are not categorized as physical, financial, human, and intellectual. Yes, that's another mistake that you guys make. And lastly, cost models are not well thought out. So focus on your cost models and make sure that you are doing the right thing. Again, majority of the times your business model fails because your cost structures is not well thought out. So focus on your cost models and make it consistent with your rest of the business plan. So issue keep on I hope so the issue has been resolved. Sometimes it happens, and maybe it can be your business idea how to resolve this issue. We have good internet connections, and still sometimes this happens. So consider this a problem and come up with a preliminary idea to resolve it. You will be given the recordings of this session, and you will be provided the slides as well, so you can go through it again, and if you can ask me even later or in the next session. Okay, I think your chat box, he says using Starlink this issue can be resolved. So there are some suggestions as well. To the next up till now is your definitely you are going through these sessions. These sessions can only help you if you are going to be participating and doing the tasks. And believe me when I say this, if you are doing these tasks, this whole program is going to create a lot of value for you, and you will be happy to receive those gifts and certificates at the end as well. So what is the task going to be? You are going to be building I haven't given the details of the task yet, Nadia. I stopped because I could see that my audio connection was lost. So me now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? The audio connection has been restored. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, got all the text much better. Okay, I had stopped, so I didn't speak further when I saw the audio connection was lost. So let's move on to the task point. So I was saying that you will be required to produce a business model canvas. And as I said that we will be requiring 16 participants in all together. to provide their business model canvas, and then we will be selecting among you those business models that are good fit and those that have worked hard on it, and we will be providing you with further assistance to work on your ideas, and the assistance will be provided in different ways. So it's a very big opportunity for you. Don't shy away from this opportunity. Work on it. You just need to put in your hard work and passion. So what is the business model canvas? How are you going to work on it? So the first thing you are going to do is select the idea. Many of you have already, I guess,
I think the struggling connection has finally lost. Is everyone's audio lagging or just Mina's? So I'm audible and Tahmina is not audible. Harun's audio is also distorted.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Tahmina is audible now.
Okay, so that's a problem with technology. We all know that. Yes, I am going to be repeating that. Do not worry about that. We can handle this. No issue at all. So now that I'm audible, I'm going to repeat that. So what you are going to do is select the idea, that is your prototype solution. And the next thing you are going to do is build the model. You have determined the 9 building blocks in today's session. What you are going to do is you are going to make the whole business model this time. So what you are going to do is you are just going to build the whole business canvas model. So the third thing is then you will be required to tell the story. Now, the canvas provides the key points needed to pitch your business model to others. Yes, we will be selecting your business canvas models, and then you will be required to present your story in front of a group of people that will include Sajid, and then we will select a few people that we are going to assist for further, so that they can develop on their business models and they can actually uh, go into the launching stage. So that's how you are going to do it. As you can see this slide, this is your assignment. That's the whole work that you are going to be doing. So did you get the assignment this time? Okay, any questions about this? Okay,
Amina,
so now
could
that
you
we
repeat the
have,
assignment as well?
okay, I can repeat the assignment one more time. The assignment is for you to select the idea and then build the model. As you have seen in this today's session, that many of you came up with the ideas. So we have learned how to come up with the idea, and then we have also learned how to develop the business model canvas. So what you are going to do is, for your idea, you are going to develop a business model canvas and share that business model canvas with us, first of all. So before the next session, you can come up with your business model canvas and share it with us. Then the third stage is for later on, and this will include to present your business model to a group of people. So this will be related to your presentation strategy, how to pitch to the investors. You have already done that. Sajid gave you a few sessions on that. You saw the Shark Tank videos and all that. So that will be your third stage. You will be presenting in front of a group of people. So for the time being, your assignment is to make the business canvas model now that you have the idea of the 9 building blocks. Yes, you can email your assignments. Yes, you will be given these notes and these slides for your help. Yes, you will be emailing the business canvas model. You can share it with Firoz. Firoz will convey you the deadline.
I'll create yes, I'll create a folder in the Google Drive and you guys can upload your business models there. I've already uploaded the presentation in that folder. You can access it using the link for recordings.
Okay, so I guess we have answered those questions. Okay, now for a little task here. So we still have a little bit of time with us. Uh,
Amina, can you please answer Ajit Yahia's question? He has repeated that multiple times.
Can you
I'm
repeat
going to
why
write.
cost structure at the end? Can you repeat why cost structure at the end? Can okay, 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 okay. Got that. Why to consider cost structure at the end? Because as I said, that the cost structure is going to consider all the costs that you are going to be incurring in all the other building blocks that you have considered above. So how you are going to deliver your value proposition? What costs are you going to be incurring for your channels, distribution channels? And then what costs are you going to be incurring for building up the key partnerships? And also your cost structure has to be collaborative with your value proposition. As I said, that if you are thinking that your value proposition is to provide low cost services, then your cost structure has to accommodate that. And if you chose that you are going to be creating value, then your cost structure has to incorporate that element as well. So that's why cost structure falls at the end, because it makes it easier for you to understand that what costs you will be incurring in your whole overall business model. So I guess, Mohammed, I have answered your question. Okay, so now a time for a little small task, and do not shy away from this as well. What I need you to do is just a one liner. Each one of you is going to explain your selected idea, and this will be I will be unmuting you, and you will be telling the audience about your business idea. Sajid, do not worry. Yes, you will be given the recording of this session, so don't worry if you have missed any part of this session. You will be able to hear it later on. So let's work on the assignment. Give me your business idea. We have discussed the business ideas at the very beginning. So let's talk about the story of your business idea. So should I be selecting you, or you will be hand raising yourself?
There are
Although
two
I am in
hand
a
raises.
mood to. Okay, there are hand raises. Okay. So, Firoz, can you
Makbul,
see the
Aish, and
hand raise?
yes, Makbul, Aish, and Nadeem, Amjad, Sumbal. There are four participants.
Okay. How do we unmute them? Or you can do that?
I'm I'm going to unmute them.
Okay, that's nice.
Makbul, I have unmuted you. You're on self mute. You can unmute and speak.
Makbul, are you with us? Can you hear us? Makbul, you'll have to unmute it yourself.
I
Okay,
think we
let's
should
move on
move
to
to
the
the
other
next part.
participant. Yeah,
Okay.
unmute the next participant.
Uh, I'm gonna unmute Sumbal.
Okay, Sumbal.
Sumbal, you're on
Sumbal,
self
can you
mute. You can
unmute
unmute
it?
and speak.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me, everyone? Tehmina, hello.
Hello, yes, Sumbal, we can hear you. There was a little distortion.
Okay,
So, how about you
good
present
evening.
us your idea?
Yeah, sure. It was a really nice session and informative as well, and I am very much impressed by the information that you have delivered, and really honored to be part of this program. And
Thank
I
you,
would like
Sumbal.
to share my idea. Actually, the idea is about building an international application, and by the word international, I mean I want to make it I want to present it internationally as well, within the markets of UK and USA, because as per my study, UK has also hired the Ministry of Loneliness, which means that the depression and stress is at peak in that country. So the more we are moving towards this IT advancement and the phones and the machinery things, entering into the era of technology, the more we are going away from our relationships and personal life and ourselves as well. So I think this is a dire
Mhm.
need of the current era, and it has a demand in the future as well, the increasing demand in the future. So I would like to make an
Okay.
app not just for the mental health, but for our youth as well, because their basic dilemma is those hard breakups and the career
Hmm.
counseling, lack of direction, and all that stuff. So it's about not just only about stress and depression. And the value proposition I see in my app is that I have currently seen few apps actually working in this segment, but they only focus on stress and depression. They don't
Hmm.
actually focus deeply on those relationship guidance or career guidance or stuff like that. So it will be like a one-stop solution. And I have already worked on that, because we worked on making a logo for that organization, naming it as an opportunities. So that was the name of my organization, and I made a Facebook page as well for that. And we actually decided the name of the services as well. For example, we say that we will call it Mind Gym for the counseling
Hmm.
related to depression and stress, and Heart Workshop for the for the counseling about breakup issues and heart related
Yeah.
issues. I mean,
Yeah. Great idea,
the
Sumbal, I
personal
must say.
relationships. Yeah. So, and career
Yeah.
pitch was the third service segment, which means that in the segment career pitch, we will be guiding them about their careers. And there was an opportunity board where we thought that we will share about different opportunities globally, because I have seen thousands of scholarships appearing on the Facebook, but our youth does not know about it, so they cannot capitalize on that.
Yes. So these are
So
all the
this is why I
problems
think I'm
you
really
have already
passionate
looked
about it.
after.
Yeah, yeah, and
Good
because
one. Good one.
I have seen Jobs' speech, one of his last speech when he was talking about the Apple and innovation, and he says that the
Hmm.
next era of innovation I see is in the health sector. When you are
Hmm.
combining the IT with the health, you are
Definitely.
actually bringing starting a new era of innovation. So
Definitely.
I see my app in the markets of USA and UK, where the counselors from Pakistan will be
Hmm.
counseling the people in the USA and UK, so that will
Wonderful.
increase and boost Pakistan economy as well. It is same like
Yes.
you are actually providing an IT health services within America. There are different people working on that because the health services and the doctors and therapists we have
Mhm.
are quite cheaper as compared to the ones we have
Yes.
available in the
So
US
how
and the
about
UK
Sumbal, we
market.
get some feedback on your idea now?
Yeah, sure, please. But I would love to
Yeah, let's
have
get
it
some
from
feedback.
you.
So we have a huge audience here. I would like to ask which one of you will not consider investing in this idea? Because seriously, I am considering investing in this idea. So just stop me from investing in this idea and come up with those facts that you have noticed that you think uh, are stopping you from investing in this idea. And this is going to help Sumbal to eliminate her, to more refine her idea and eliminate those drawbacks. So, any one of you raise your hand? Any
Yes,
one of
fellows,
you who
please. I would like to
thinks,
listen that.
okay, so you will not like to invest? So, anyone who will not like to invest? Because overall, I guess everybody would like to invest in this idea. It's
Asad has
also
raised his
boosting our
hand.
economy.
Asad, I think Asad wants to say something.
Can you type in the box? Anyone who is not going to invest in this company can write in the box that I will not invest. Then it will be easier for us to pick them. Please type I will not invest. I have a concern. Okay, Asad has a concern then. Let's unmute Asad.
Asad, you're on self mute. You can unmute and speak.
Alina has a good point. Yes, Alina will listen to you as well. First of all, Asad. Asad, please unmute yourself. Okay, let's move on to Alina. Can you unmute Alina,
Alina,
Feroz?
can you please raise your hand? Yes, Alina is on self mute.
Please unmute yourself, Alina. We would really like to hear why you would not like to invest. As you have said, your concern is with cybersecurity.
Okay, so I really like this Sumbal's idea,
Hmm.
but from a customer perspective, if I want to go there, my biggest thing would be whether the things that I'm telling that professional are going to stay with that professional, or whether they're just going to be barged out. Like for example, the people needs the app, as Sumbal has explained, because we shy away from talking about a personal problem with the people we know, because we do not
Hmm.
want to be judged, or we do not want to be have a question mark on our values or anything. So going to a complete stranger and just opening up about everything that is very personal to you is going to be,
Hmm.
I think it's difficult building that
Hmm.
trust and confidence, and secondly getting that surety that your information is in safe hands. So like that's my
Okay,
concern.
what if Sumbal gives you a confidentiality agreement? Would that work for you then?
It might work, but still I would be thinking, okay,
And
what
she
if
develops a
there
secure and she develops a secure way of connecting
that can help.
that can help. Okay, so Sumbal, do notice, do note that down. Okay, now next we have Asad Rafiq. Can I speak? Yeah. So let's unmute Asad Rafiq once again.
Asad, you're on self mute again. You may
Hello, can
speak.
you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I think it's a good idea, but it will work to
Mm-hmm.
the extent of boundaries of Pakistan. Like
Mm-hmm.
Sumbal just said that Pakistani counselor is counseling people in UK and USA. And as far as I think people is feeling in USA, it might be a different reason why people feeling in Pakistan. So I think
Yes, definitely.
we have to understand if there is a Pakistani counselor counseling USA individual, he or she
Mm-hmm.
have to understand all the perspective why people there is feeling why people there are feeling lonely. So I think
Yes.
this is the issue from the
Mm-hmm.
boundary of from the perspective of boundaries of Pakistan. I think it is a good idea. It can work in Pakistan very well because we
Hmm.
in subcontinent have the same culture. It can work in India. It can work in Bangladesh. So
Hmm.
it can have some conflict if we go to like USA or to UK. As far as I think.
Yes. Yes. So, Sumbal, do consider that point as well. Yes, socio-cultural impacts are very much different in different countries. So, yes, there can be issues regarding this. So, what is your take on it? Do consider that. So, next we have hijab Zedi. I have a concern.
Hijab, you're on self
Uh,
mute. You can speak.
yeah, I have unmuted myself. I have a concern that firstly, what is the payment method? Because we have is an app, and how Symbol is going to cater that payment thing. How she is going to
Hmm.
ensure that the person is going to like like payment, you have to do the half payment or the full payment method before the connecting with the client. How she will make sure that there is the payment is coming in her account and there is no bad debt situation. My first concern, and second
Right.
concern is that uh, there is a huge market over there on over there is a huge good market of the health market in UK and US. They are
Yes.
really concerned about their children, and in schools there's a proper guiding and counseling session.
Exactly.
So what make difference the Symbol, what the value creation she is creating for the that market, like if
Yes.
what I knew, because my cousins are doctors, so I have this a bit idea of that they are really, the people in these countries are really concerned about their mental health and their career
Yes.
counselings, and there's a proper channel for
They
all
have.
these
Yes.
things. Like they have the proper they have the proper mentor on every stage. So what make difference, and what is the eye-catching element in her app, and what is like why the people of the UK should consider this app, like what is the value creation for that
Yes.
those people. And secondly, the point already mentioned by Asa, that there's a huge gap of social like interaction,
Definitely.
and there's a like what how should I portray it, like there is a different mentality of the people who live over there, and they have a different issue. So how she's going to cater all
Definitely.
these issues?
Yes. So that's why I was saying that do not fall in love with your idea at the very beginning, because there are going to be some facts that will be highlighted later in the stage. So some facts were highlighted by, we saw Asad, and now with hijab. So Sumbal,
I
do
want to
look
add
into
one
this.
more thing. uh,
Yes.
and
Go
how
on.
she's going to cater the resource issue, like who are the doctors and what their qualifications are, and what in at what, like if she's considering the experienced doctors, then she has to pay a huge amount to them. So how she's going to cater that, and how that investment she's going to pull in this idea.
Right. So why not we ask Sumbal to answer that? And we are already over time now. So let's end this session with a answer from Sumbal. So Sumbal, can you unmute yourself and answer the questions?
Yeah,
Or
sure.
would you like to change or alter your idea a little
Yeah,
bit and
um,
be flexible with it?
yeah.
Yes.
Let me tell about that, because I have actually worked with some multinational firms as well, specifically in that outsourcing side, the BPO sector.
Hmm.
So there you actually know that most of the outsourcing stuff, like the call centers and such things, the services specifically the services related queries, are outsourced to India and Pakistan. And
Mm-hmm.
there, what happens is that obviously Pakistanis doesn't know that what problems are the Americans or the people in or the English people are facing. So what
Yes.
they do is that they provide 3 month training to every student that they recruit. And they
Mm-hmm.
actually educate them about the states in the USA, about the city, about the addresses, about their lifestyle, about everything in those 3 months. I mean
Right.
that is actually an overview of their lifestyle. So obviously, there is always a scrutiny process in every business. Like if we go through Kareem,
So you are
they
considering
even
providing,
provide
uh, Sumbal, please clear this one. You will be focusing on providing training or such courses to your counselors.
Yes, yes, before
Okay,
recruiting them,
that's
and
good.
obviously checking upon
Important.
their qualification, their experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and about the confidentiality. I have already considered
Mm-hmm.
that because I told you that I've researched in really deep in this idea. So the point was, I already got to know through the survey that people were actually hesitant to share their problems, the personal problems. So we thought to keep a section in the app that will be a guest section. You can either sign in with your personal name,
Mm-hmm.
or you can sign in with a pseudonym or as a
Mm-hmm.
guest if you want to hide
Right.
your identity. That is the benefit of the technology, because in
Okay.
physical session you have to appear face to face with your counselor, but when you are taking a
Mm-hmm.
counseling session online, you can hide your identity. You can pick a
Right.
pseudonym for yourself. You can check in as a guest
Yeah.
and share
Okay.
about
So
your
there was
problems and
one more
everything.
question
So
I would like to ask you. Hijab also pointed out that, as you know, that the in USA, UK, those market require licensed counselors, licensed therapists, and they are mostly
exactly.
PhDs
Yes,
or people like
yes,
that.
yes.
But in our market, we don't have any licensing
Exactly.
authority. So how are you going to develop the credibility and reliability of your counselors? Because they are not going to be the licensed ones.
Yes, let me tell you, Tamina, that there are many counselors in Pakistan and many doctors who actually move to the US market or to the international market based on their capabilities and on their education.
Mm-hmm.
So most probably for the international market, we will be hiring the counselors, the Pakistani counselors who got their certifications from the international universities.
Right. Got that.
I have
Right.
seen, like, for example, the Imran Khan government did that. They have actually increased the salaries, or they have actually asked the doctors who are foreign qualified to come back to Pakistan and serve their
Right.
country. And I have seen many people coming back and serving them. So with this app, they
Right.
don't need to come back to Pakistan. They can play their part from
Mm-hmm.
anywhere in the world they are with an international certification.
Right. And you will be using this app in Pakistan as well, right?
Yes, Pakistan. But firstly, we will be targeting Pakistan, and then
Right.
obviously later on, it's all
Later on.
about thinking big. So
Okay.
sky
Got
is the
that.
limit.
Okay. Thank you very much. And this was uh, just for now, and we will be meeting very soon in the upcoming sessions. So, okay, there is a question by Asad. He says, I think for counseling, some family background questions will be required. That is, a person hides his identity. Don't you think he or she will not receive proper counseling? Yes, Asad, as I said, that an idea is just an idea when you start with it. It requires a lot of effort to refine it, and it requires a lot of brainstorming as well. And I'm glad to know that you are working on it as a first step. And inshallah, we can hope that Sumbal will be refining her idea more and more, and you will be coming up with a business model. So let's end this session here. It was really nice being with you all, and I hope I have provided some type of information, contributed somehow, and we will meet in the next session very soon. So bye bye for now, and let's meet you in the later in the session. Thank you very much as well.